What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Sick Flicks with Dylan and Skip. This is episode 3, and we are reviewing The Legend of Billie Jean from 1985. It has an IMDb score of 6.7. This is a behind-the-scenes podcast from Cox in Space, so what I'm going to be doing is sharing my screen and letting you see what I'm doing to work on animation. So I'm excited. I hope that you are excited. Dylan, you are already pumped. I'm sorry. Dylan, of course, is Dylan Farr, who is the stand-up comedian who is dominating the north. What's that area called? North Michigan.
I'm in Michigan. I've been traveling around Michigan and parts of Ohio.
And does stand-up comedy and is hilarious. Do you want to shout out?
I am the autistic.
There you go.
I'm the autistic spit. Fire. Patrick Farr.
So that intro could not have been done in any better way because the whole thing was glitching the entire time. And so he is the Autistic Spitfire Comedy on most socials, and then on Facebook, Dylan Patrick Farr. I think.
Am I glitching out a lot?
Just for when you were trying to introduce yourself, and so I thought that was fantastic because the only things that were coming through were Autistic, Spitfire, Comedy, but in between is like brick. So it's like you had actually created some sort of intro. You have to hear the playback. I think you might want to use it at your show actually, because it's fucking fantastic. I like the universe was
autistic.
Yeah, but it's glitching out in between it. So the internet is it's having an autistic moment with you as you introduce yourself. So
yeah, I gotta get my computer fixed, is what that tells me.
Well, you'll listen to it on the when we post this. Anyway, happy Friday the 13th, everybody who's listening to this in the future. That's when we're recording it. So I expect spooky
I love
things.
Friday the 13th.
Same, my favorite. This is one of the holidays that I look forward to all the time.
Do you want to know why I love Friday the 13th?
Why do you love Friday the 13th?
My birthday is July 13th.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool.
I was born on Friday the 13th.
Hell yes. Okay, guys, Dylan, if you didn't think he was cool already, now you understand why he's so fucking cool. The only other person who I think would be cooler than you is if somebody was born on Groundhog's Day or leap year. Those are my three.
My brother Andrew was born on Groundhog's Day.
Oh my God, you guys are so fucking cool. This is what I'm talking about. This is man, y'all your mom couldn't have planned that. Babies come when they arrive. It has nothing to do with. I mean, people try unless it's a C-section.
My dad had a defective dick because of multiple sclerosis, and he was hitting it home. He hit home runs. How do I respond to that?
No, I have to point out here that the laugh here is not ableist at all, because some people might accuse us on this podcast of being we're laughing at people with multiple sclerosis, but I do want to point out that
multiple sclerosis.
That's one of the things. And also, my laugh is coming from the place that I am so proud of your dad for being you know what? This is my lot in life, and I'm going to get some pussy. No disrespect to your mom, but he was we get it on.
That's kids trying to bully me in school. They'd be like, I'm going to fuck your mom. It's go ahead. That'd be fucking me. We look identical.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. So you've actually reminded me of my absolute brand new favorite type of joke. I've discovered it recently. I don't know if it's brand new, but it's a your mom joke that actually flips it and then makes the mom look cool and then insults the listener. Have you heard of these? Do you know what? Do you know what I'm talking about? It sounds like a no.
You still there?
Yeah. Do you know what type of joke?
I have no audio. I don't.
Oh no. Okay, let me see. You're not hearing me at all. Be right back.
Yeah, we're.
How's that?
You still there?
Yes. Sounds like no for you. Um,
Let me see if I can.
how's that? How's that? How's that?
How's that?
You know,
If
it's
I
probably on
can.
my end, Dylan. Okay. Guys, I apologize for the technical difficulties. They will sometimes happen because there's a number of things going on here. How's that? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, I guess?
Can you hear me on here?
Yes.
Is there a delay on here, or is this?
Are you still you
I
still
switched the phone to try to make it easier.
can you hear me now?
Can you hear me? Or is there a delay?
All right, so it might be me, it might be you. We'll find out. Uh, Anybody could tune in. So, uh, Dylan, why don't you start reviewing for us?
Well, this movie is really enjoyable. We got Helen and Christian Slater in it. We got Keith Gordon, Richard Bradford.
Oh, that is a delay. Goodness. Um, hmm. I'm very much hoping that we can fix this. Um, Guys, if you're in the audience, if you could just, oop. What's up, buddy? We are still
Still a delay?
having some technical difficulties, it seems like.
I got no audio on this one.
Um,
Am I still delayed or I'm getting no audio pickup on this one. No, I can't. I can hear you if I'm doing it on my phone, but then there's the delay on my phone.
Logan, are you able to hear me? Because that's really the question.
I can hear you now.
Oh, really?
It might be my headset.
Okay, cool. That's fantastic. Thank you guys for bearing with us during this technical difficulty. So fantastic. I'm glad that we've worked that out. Yeah, this was I was like, hey, I've never seen The Legend of Billie Jean, but I really wanted to. I've been wanting to for a long time. And then I realized that I had actually seen it in my 20s because I was hanging out with a bunch of really cool people, and we got high and we would watch cool movies and listen to cool music. And I didn't necessarily know what they were called, and I was like really baked. You know what I mean? So like it was just
Oh,
like
I remember that. I watched so many movies when I was high, and I don't remember any of them.
yeah, well, it's not that I don't remember them. It's just that I don't remember the specifics about them. Because as soon as I started watching this movie, I was like, "Hey, I remember this." Right? Like because it's very unique, right? Like
Exactly.
the movie opens up, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a brother and sister acting pair because it's Christian Slater and Helen Slater, who are in the film. They are related, right?
Yeah, brother and sister.
That's what I thought. I mean, for sure, they look alike. It's like perfect casting for this film. Um, the thing I will say about this movie is that you gotta, if you're recommending the Legend of Billie Jean, you have to recommend it in the context that it's given in, which is that you have to have a trigger warning on the film because the first act is really sort of brutal. Because it's about Billie Jean as like this like kind of innocent like farm girl like trailer kid, and like she's just running wild and she's like a little bit she's like mostly feral, and she runs into the harshness of what men are like, some men are like, but the ones you have to be careful of, and
Actually,
what society
over
can do.
$608 too.
Well, we'll get to the specifics real quick, but I just want to throw out the trigger warning, because it's like really it makes you uncomfortable, and it's supposed to make you uncomfortable.
Does.
And I think in 2025 that has to be said because when this movie comes out in 1987. Right this year, I'm sorry, 1985, that films are coming out of the 70s where an idea of a film is something to make you feel something, just like a novel is something to make you feel something. A story is supposed to make you feel. And so if you feel uncomfortable in the first act of The Legend of Billie Jean, you're supposed to push through it, just keep watching the movie because the catharsis from that, and I'm going to give some slight spoilers here, but it pays off. Like the reason you feel uncomfortable in the beginning of the movie and you feel squeamish in the beginning of the movie is because you want her to have like a big victory at the end, and it feels really, really good. So if you're uncomfortable and you're like, I want to turn this off, just keep watching. The movie will keep happening, right? And then you'll get through that part, and then you'll see how fucking cool Billie Jean is and why she has this legend about her. So that was my opening. I just wanted to say that.
I was jamming to the soundtrack.
Like, yeah, you said that initially too.
In it.
Because you had never seen it before, right? Like this is the first
I had
time.
It. This was my first time seeing it.
That's so great.
Yeah, I'd never even heard of this movie. I'll be honest.
Tell me about then your thoughts on the soundtrack. Which ones in particular? Because it is very of its time, right? Like it's a very 80s soundtrack. Like 85 is the correct.
Oh my god, it is so 80s. It's not even. What are we running from?
We can't fight any longer.
When the rebels yell, she cry more.
Yeah, exactly.
In the midnight hour, she cry more.
So yeah, if you guys are fans of the 80s soundtrack, this one's a fucking goldmine. It is so, I mean, it is, and like they're not even doing it like to be cliche. Like it's just like they think that the 80s are cool, and it was at the time, and they live it up. They wanted it to be as hip as possible, and so it is very, very 80s hip. I think for Zoomers, this is gonna be real fun because like they didn't get to experience it firsthand, so it's kind of like that's like all coming back, the whole 80s feeling. I think for a lot of kids, sorry, like in their 20s. Sorry, guys. And so, ooh, did you see that? Are you watching the screen right now? I can't remember if I shared it or not. Yeah, so Logan, if you had to see that, the way that the arm just connected, I just used his other arm. I'm going to put it behind this. This has been really fun about doing the animation, is that taking Jack's art, which is two-dimensional, and he did one image, and then making it do other things like that. Now he has two arms where he only had one before. It's still Jack's art. So I'm going to try to blend that together while we're talking.
We gotta shout out to who's in this.
Okay, let's do that.
Like music wise, like we got Pat Benatar doing the song "Invincible."
Oh yeah, well, which is kind of one of the key ones of this movie.
For The Legend of Billie Jean.
Yeah.
We got Heart Telegraph by Divinal. We got Rebel Yell by Billy Idol. It's My Life by Wendy O. Williams. Sprained by Bruce Whitkin and the Kids, and Self Defense by Chas Sanford. Yeah, like there's full of 80s music.
And then what I noticed too is if you listen to just the titles of the soundtrack, or if you know those songs, what you're going to recognize pretty quick is what this movie is about. And The Legend of Billie Jean is really cool because it's like kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde story, or like a Billy the Kid story. Where this
That would
punk
be
kid,
more what I attribute it to, is like Billy the Kid type.
yeah, this punk kid starts thumbing their nose at establishment and authority, and people start to are empathizing with it, and which is also it's cool. I mean, that's what the movie is about because that's where it lands too. Um, no spoilers. It's called The Legend of Billie Jean. I mean, it's about how she builds up her legend, and it's cool. What I love about this character too is that she accidentally does it. She's not trying to be a hero. She just has all the characteristics of a hero or heroine rather. However you want to gender that. And so that's why people follow her, not because she wants to be in charge, but because what's fair is fair, right?
Exactly. That keeps going over and over. But I will say my biggest problem was she had a chance to like advertise on the news what happened, and all she goes on about is fair.
Well, this is okay. Let's get into it. Because I think that's an interesting point, and it's because I was initially thinking the same thing. There's something we have to unpack a lot of stuff in the beginning before we can get into that conclusion, and it's good time to do it. So let's do it. So the thing that's interesting about the movie, and this is why it's going to make people uncomfortable in the first act, is she's a young kid. She's probably like 16 or 17. For the first act, and for most of the movie, she's running around without a bra.
Put her about 18. I think they put her about 18.
Yeah, I would. She's young. What all I'm trying to say is she's a young teenager, right? And she might be an adult, but like even in the casting, like she's like kind of right outside of high school or in the last years of high school.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
like it's right in there. It's borderline pedophilia.
Yeah, well, and so yeah, that's what I was getting to point out is like to sexualize Billie Jean is kind of inappropriate, and that's why it's uncomfortable in the beginning of the movie, because she's running around without a bra and she's wearing like a shirt, just like a loose like tank top, like you would as a kid. They're going to get ice cream on the back of a scooter. And she's getting chased by these dudes in a car who are just like, they're like corn dogs, man. Yeah, and they go to Sonic. Okay. So I was gonna say that Kit Kat was the first product placement that we see at the end because they call it out by name, but they literally go to Sonic, and that is the first product placement of this film. So which is important to note, when you're watching movies, like to see who's sponsoring it. So Sonic was the sponsor of Act One, where Billie Jean ran around in it. Yeah.
That's where we're introduced to Hubie Pyatt.
Yeah,
and his friends, the boys, basically.
Yeah, the boys. There you go. Yeah, that's the way to sum them up. Thank you.
Hubie has a hard on for Billie Jean.
For Billie Jean, yeah, exactly. And he makes no mystery of it because the dude is so fucking gross. Like he's just so fucking gross. And that's one of the things. Like this is the first 5 minutes of the movie. If you're watching this with say your elderly mom or my mom who is a Christian woman, right? Like if she's watching that movie, she's gonna be like, I don't want to see this. I'm gonna turn it off, right? Fair enough. But it's intentionally done that way to be uncomfortable for her eyes. So that's why I say like power through this because it goes on. It is gross because it continues to happen. So one of the things that's also happening is that she and her brother are hanging out. They go to this watering hole. They got this scooter that he loves. It's their absolute freedom to get out the trailer park. And then Hubie has a friend who's a photographer, and he's like taking photos of her as she's getting out the water as they're harassing him and like stealing his bike, her brother's bike. And so it's like all around gross and just like really uncomfortable bullying. If you're a person who's experienced bullying, I think Dylan, you and I both, it's just like we're like, fuck, man, like this fucking sucks. Like I don't. This is not the type of movie I'm trying to watch right now, bro.
I got whipped with a pair of blue jeans by a bully.
You see what I'm saying?
I got whipped after
some people are just pricks.
Class.
God damn, and for no reason, he was just trying to prove out like how bigger monkey he was, right? And
Let's not
big
use
monkey,
that term
big monkey
for
strong.
this person.
Oh, I'm sorry. I would not have known. We need to skirt
Yeah,
right around this conversation right now and not say anything else because I was not being
yeah,
offensive at all. I was literally
I'm
just talking
sorry.
about our ancestors.
I know.
Because okay, let me back up real quick before we get into any more hot water, which is to say that there are three levels of brain as far as I understand. There's the lizard brain, there's the mammalian, the ape brain, and then there's the human brain on top of that, like layers of brain, right? And some people never really extend beyond the reptilian brain, and some people, I believe, are stuck in the monkey brain, especially young men. It seems.
Yeah,
And
we
so
were
it
in
was.
like third grade when that happened.
Yeah, regardless
So
of,
like,
like any other factor, being that we have a monkey brain, stupid monkeys do stupid monkey things. That's how I had to rationalize bullying. You know what I mean? Like ultimately be like, God damn it. Like, they didn't mean to do it either because they have just like poor genetic code or, like they like were poorly evolved at that time.
yeah,
Hopefully they're
well,
still
we
not
all
doing it.
were. We were kids. We were running our
Yeah.
mouths, and he just.
I
But
will
this
say
kid
this though, if you were an
specifically
adult and
picked
you were still
me
doing
out of
that,
crowds.
Yeah, it doesn't make it
Oh
right for the
yeah,
kid to do it. But if you're an adult and you're still doing that, you're definitely under evolved. Maybe consider that. You can evolve more. It's a thing that you can do as a human.
you too can evolve.
You too can
And
choose
if
to
you
evolve.
can't, there is jumping off bridges.
Right, yeah, maybe just remove yourself from the gene pool because you are leaving the human race. Yeah, you're giving them bad genes. You don't want that, do you? You don't want to put bad genes in the human gene pool. Sorry, I
This,
did not just
do
support
you
people
want
taking their lives.
idiocracy? Because
Listen,
this is how you get idiocracy.
listen, Dylan. It started out with me being like, "Let's not get in any hot water," and then it ended with me being like, "You should probably just end yourself." Yeah, you should just end
Jumped
yourself.
into a boiling pot. We just
Yeah.
jumped
So
into a gumbo pot.
I am a big fan of out of the frying pan into the fire type comedies. So anyway, guys, if you do feel that way, 988 is the number to reach out to. It was a bit of a jest. It's comedy. You got to make things worse. But 988, if you do feel that way. Also, I'm not joking about improving yourself because if you're a type of person who is a bully and you don't want to be a bully anymore, you don't have to be. Just because you've done it before doesn't mean you have to do it. Keep doing it in the future. And if you are not a child, get yourself figured out. Um, all right, so these bullies are bullying them. They ultimately steal the kid's scooter, um, and it's Christian Slater's fucking pissed about it. We find out the mom is like not involved in their kids' lives, and she's like, "Well, I'm glad the scooter's gone anyway," like a goddamn bitch. And like,
Oh my god!
sorry,
And she's
I mean
going out.
seriously,
She's
like
like, "Where are my
and she's supposed
pumps?"
to. Yeah, and she's
She's
like
going
asking her
out on
like
a
16-year-old
date.
daughter about the date. Yeah, isn't she going out with Hubie's dad? Isn't that the guy in the car, or is it some other schmuck?
It's some
Like,
other schmuck.
it just, yeah, like it's just, and like she's like, well, wish me luck tonight. What do you think, my daughter, of this dude who's gonna be pounding me later? You know what I mean? Like it's like a very inappropriate relationship where she's like, I do not care, and yeah, mommy's gonna get laid. Which
Yeah,
ultimate mommy
like she's
getting
like,
laid, but like.
where's my pumps? When are you gonna be back? Hopefully tomorrow morning.
Hopefully tomorrow
What?
morning. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, exactly. Where
Like
you're like,
like
oh man,
hoping to go out and get laid. It's like you got kids.
yeah. And you're gonna have to take care of yourselves. You guys are old enough. And this is sort of like detailing why like there's trouble in Billie Jean's house. Like, I don't really think that it's her fault. She's not trying to be a
Yeah,
hero, but she just had
it's
to grow up real quick. She has to look out for her brother, who's now like he's like after his mom goes, he's like, I'm gonna go get my fucking scooter back. Which
yeah, and
sensibly.
she
I mean,
decides,
not sensibly, but I mean, of course he is.
yeah, it's like it really showed how lax the laws were in the 80s too.
Let's talk about the 80s for a second. Yeah, exactly. Like, they just, I mean, things could happen.
It was really hard to like deal with theft and stuff in the 80s from what I understand. I don't know. I
Well,
wasn't there. I
less
might
tracking,
have
less
been a
surveillance.
sparkle in my dad's eye. I don't know.
Sure were
I'm
sparkle.
Sparkle,
Um,
sparkle, sparkle.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, no. I mean, like that's one of the things that my bestie Tracy, that Tracy person, pointed out was as because she was watching with me yesterday, at least part of it, was that the plot of the movie would kind of crumble in today's story because these kids don't have access to cell phones. And
Yeah.
so there's a lot. So it is interesting as like a time period piece. But then also I was noting that with the same story, we'll get into the second act about them on the run and all that. But
Well,
she
when
does have access to some phones, but she doesn't want to call because, as we find out in this first act, there's nobody that she can trust. Because
well
one of the
she
things she
goes to
does
the
when the bike gets
police,
trashed. Yeah,
she
so let's not
no
jump real quick. Christian
before
Slater,
it gets
yeah,
trashed. Before it gets trashed, her brother says he's going to get his bike, and so
he's gonna go get
she
his bike back.
and her best friend Ophelia, and I think
Ophelia, I love her.
the other one,
So
Putter.
you,
They all go
yeah,
to
Putter.
the police station to make a report about Hubie Pyatt stealing the scooter. And the detective is like, well, if
So
it's not back, in a couple days, come see me, basically, type
yeah, and
bullshit.
the detective is Peter Coyote, who is well known
Yes.
for playing a detective in the '80s, or some cop of some sort, or a lawyer, or you immediately be like, "There's my guy," even if you don't know his name. Google him, Peter Coyote. But yeah, no, that's the thing. She finds out, and this is the guy who was ultimately tasked with like bringing her in when the whole ruckus starts, and she can't trust this guy because she wanted him to stop it. She knew what was going to happen. She tried to get help, and they wouldn't do it. Also, we should
Yeah,
take a pause real
it's
quick to recognize. You know who Putter is? Who the actress is?
Yeardley
You
Smith,
could
a.k.a.
Yearly Smith.
Lisa Simpson.
Lisa
Lisa
fucking Simpson
fucking
as a
Simpson.
as a kid. You're saying Lisa
Yeah.
Simpson in real life. That's what she fucking looks like. And I was like, oh my god. Like I was like, how
She
that
had
voice?
some of the
Where do you get this
funniest
voice?
lines
She
too.
fucking does
Like
too, which proves that she was goddamn funny from the beginning.
at one point she gets her period, and they're
Oh my
like,
god, it's so cute.
she comes with the line, "When can I get a diaphragm?"
When can I get a diaphragm? Yeah.
Like she
So
just
Putter is
got that
probably the
southern.
most autistic person in the trailer park. But I think arguably you could say most of the characters in this movie are fairly autistic. AKA probably the writer was pretty autistic because the choices they
Right.
make. Uh,
Like we got what's his name? Lloyd, played by Keith Gordon.
which one is Lloyd? Is he the one who's the rich kid?
He's the rich kid, if I
Okay,
remember
yeah, and a
correctly.
famous
Yeah.
character, famous actor from the '80s, but really young.
Let me see. What was he in? Okay, he hasn't been in a lot, but
Um,
oh, he's a director now. Let me see his. Sorry, I was looking at his acting or his directing stuff. He became a director. He was Doug in Jaws too. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, let me see what else.
so, while you continue to look, there's two things I wanted to point out because the scooter actually brings in two pieces of symbolism that I think is really cool. Because the first time that we see Billie Jean's face is in the mirror of the scooter. And that, as far as like cinematography goes, the storytelling, the visual storytelling with film, is really significant because it's really interesting how they introduce her character because she's sort of shot from a low shot when we first see
I
her, and
don't
then we
think
get a
I don't
medium
think
shot.
that was her face. I thought
Is it
that
Christian
was her
Slater's?
brother.
Maybe
I thought
so.
that was her brother in the hat.
Okay, you
Because
might.
at that point, she still has the long blonde hair, so she's really showing that off and stuff.
Um, because the thing that happens next is then we see her face in the shattered mirror. So it might be a transition if it is the man, if it is Christian, that they were
You know
going in
what?
between like changing heroes. it might be the case. I can't recall. I'll have to watch the movie again to know for sure. Um, but that's after the bike gets trashed. So she goes and talks to the cop, right? And then they go find the bike, and then the next thing we see, the next mirror that we see, is her in that broken mirror. There's a thing that he's doing this in this film. He or she, I can't remember who the director is. I think it's a man. But
Matthew Robbins.
Yeah,
Let me see what he directed.
he does this thing because he uses mirrors throughout the film at like a couple of significant points. When he changes her character up, when she cuts her hair at the end of Act Two and into that, or that it was probably the climax of Act Two.
He directed Batteries Not Included. Oh my goodness!
Oh my God! Okay, it definitely has the same kind of.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Playful
He directed. He wrote Mimic. He wrote Blood Brothers.
No shit! Really? Oh, we should review Mimic at some point. That's a hella fun movie.
He did a lot of writing and stuff. Wow. He was an uncredited writer for Jaws. He was uncredited for Close Encounters of the Third Time.
So he's working with
E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
He's working closely with Steven Spielberg. Like, he's one of Steven Spielberg's dudes. If he's on all of those movies, he's working with early Spielberg. That guy's fucking cool. I did not even, no discredit to the director of The Legend of Billie Jean, because goddamn, that boy is obviously connected and knows what he's doing, because Steven Spielberg respects this dude. Wow. Wow. I mean, it's definitely worth this movie is like one of the reasons I was glad that we reviewed it is because I think that this is a very quality story, and everything is on point. Like, it's the way that you should tell movies visually, with the soundtrack, the way that the characters develop, the way that the pressure from the world pushes on the character to force them to change. Like, it's a fantastic piece. I did not know that level of respect for it.
He worked on the Sugarland Express, Dragon Slayer. Wow. He also worked frequently with Guillermo del Toro.
Damn, dude. Yeah, this guy is hella connected.
Writing his films Mimic, Crimson Peak, and Pinocchio. Robbins has frequently worked with Hal Barwood. Sorry, I'm reading up on this guy.
You're good. We're getting this
He
information.
collaborated
I was
with
just laughing.
filmmakers including George Lucas, Walter Murch, and Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, is real well connected. And obviously respected. I was just laughing because one of the characters' name is Richard. I shortened it, of course, to Dick for that title. But it says theme Dick Arm as one of the save files, and it's not even a joke to be like crass. It's just, one of the standard facts of the story. So yeah, the director, say his name again.
Matthew Robbins.
Guys, pay respect to Mr. Robbins, as I did not. Thank you, Dylan, for bringing that to the table. Because it's really, there's a good reason to respect this movie, is because this guy knows what the fuck he's doing. And so when I point out stuff like the mirror, it's not like it accidentally made it into the film. He thought about that from the very get-go of when he started writing the script, and when he started doing the storyboards. So those things are put in there. So if you want to look at like good
writers,
language.
wow. One of the writers, Mark Rosenthal.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote The Legend of Billie Jean, The Jewel of the Nile, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, The In Crowd, Desperate Hours. Sometimes They Come Back. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. Wow.
That's a Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country.
Okay, now
For
if you guys
Love
are
or
like,
Money,
how
The
did
Beverly
he get into
Hillbillies,
doing,
Mercury Rising, Mighty Joe Young,
seriously.
and Planet of the Apes. Oh wow, Mona Lisa Smile.
God damn. Yeah, this dude is hella connected also. Like he's just in the heart of Hollywood. That's why he's getting to do those like knockoff sequels. Is because they're like, you can write a script, right? And he's like, yeah, I can.
Are you
And they're like,
kidding
do
me?
it.
He wrote The Sorcerer's Apprentice as well. Oh my God.
Well, what that career says to me is like he's just a writer, a union writer for hire, which is a good spot to be at, um, as far as like making that money.
Who's this other guy? Lawrence Konner. They worked on a lot of stuff together.
Um,
Wow. Sorry. This is actually
you're,
really interesting, the amount of like stuff they've worked on together. These writers were like a pair, a duo.
I'm guessing that they were working together at TriStar because you notice that this movie comes out in the middle of TriStar's like really successful run of films. Not that they don't have good
Okay.
films now, but they were absorbed by Sony in 1981. I'm sorry, in 87. But
Okay.
they ran as TriStar from 1983 to 1991. And that's one of the things I wanted to point out is that when you look at the selection of TriStar films, you see this team of people that are working together, and they have a bunch of like little studios that they're like kind of interconnected with each other. There's one that's it has the same name, but it's like number one, number two, number three, where you can see like it's just like these team of people that are working together, and they seem to be the ones who are working, with Steven Spielberg, with George Lucas Films, to make some of these fantastic movies. I'm gonna run down a quick, if you don't mind, because I was like, when was the last time I'd seen TriStar, right? Like that company, I was like, they kind of disappeared, and then I looked into it that Sony happened, but they used to be on everything. Like they did the Rambos. Right before this, they did the Hitcher movies, they did Short Circuit, Labyrinth, Peggy Sue Got Married, Monster Squad. They were the original. They're the ones who released the original Blob. Who's Harry Crumb? Look Who's Talking series, Total Recall, part of the Terminator series, The Fisher King,
Terminator 2 Judgment Day,
yeah,
Godzilla in 1998, Basic Instinct, As Good as It Gets,
yeah,
Hook?
yeah,
Hook?
Sleepless in Seattle, Weekend at Bernie's 2, which is the better of the two of them.
Oh,
So I
this
married an
one is
axe
one of my
murderer.
mom's favorite. My best friend's wedding. That's my mom's
Yeah.
like one of my
Guarding
mom's favorite
Tess,
movies.
Legend of the Fall, Johnny Mnemonic. And then if you look at those credits, you see that they're all kind of the same studios that are working together to make these films.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So like what we're seeing is like the entities that those people that were just credited, that you were just giving credit to, putting their money into product projects, and then you see what created 90s entertainment, 80s and 90s entertainment. Because like we just listed all those being like, God damn, those were fucking blockbusters. Those were everywhere. Because they had the backing of, Steven Spielberg and his friends, and George Lucas, and they were in the heart of where Hollywood was at. So yeah, this is why I think it's so wild when people be like, I've never seen The Legend of Billie Jean, but it's by this guy who's like
It's one of their
really well known.
earliest films.
Yeah, and
It's
it's
an,
part of this company that was absolutely dynamite at that time. Like if you want to know about 80s and 90s film, you should be looking at TriStar.
and this is all stuff I didn't know. Like I hadn't.
Yeah, isn't that cool though? I mean, like when you begin to look at it, you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like how they're connected, like how all these things. And this is why, for me, Sick Flicks is like it's also that it's like looking at the history of like the common cinema that we have, and like how those are all interconnected together. Because you see common actors showing up, you see common directors showing up, and why
Yep.
that is, and that's why I think it's important to kind of note those things too. But where were we? Because I think we're kind of
We were
avoiding the
right
thing that's
after.
making us
We were right.
uncomfortable. Uh, and we do have to give a
We
trigger
were
warning
right
at this point.
after. Well, it does make me uncomfortable. I
Yeah,
had
yeah, and
something
I
happen to
think
me when I was young, so
well,
it does
I,
make me uncomfortable.
and here's the thing that I want to say is this is the uncomfortable truth is that women need to be raised to know that they need to be careful. And also boys, and that's unfortunate because there are some evil motherfuckers who do not care about other people, and they will do anything they want to for their own pleasure. So that's the trigger warning. If you guys want to skip ahead probably about 15 minutes, then you won't have to hear about this. But also, like I said earlier, this is set up for later, so we get the catharsis that you need. The bike gets trashed. Billie Jean goes to get an assessment. It comes up to $608, which is important.
Yeah, well, not only does Bike get trashed, her brother gets beat to shit.
And gets the shit beat out of him by these boys who are much bigger than him. But Christian Slater's a badass. His character is a badass, Binks, because he goes up against those boys to go get his bike back, and he doesn't back down from a fight. And that's why you gotta love this character. So she goes and she takes the bill to first the kid, and he laughs her off, and then she knees him in the balls, which is not great. But it's still fucking hilarious. And then
comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
it's
starts being like, it'll be
like,
all right. We'll make it all right.
yeah, and then
And then
tells her
gets
we
her
don't keep that
upstairs.
kind of cash in the
Yeah.
register.
Obviously,
Gets
he
her
had a scheme.
upstairs and is like
Yeah.
tries to give her $50 and is like, we're gonna have a payment plan.
Yeah, and then there's stuff that's cut out that scene, you notice, because she says stuff at the end of the movie that he doesn't say during that scene. But basically, yeah, it's sexual
Well,
assault.
no,
He wants to turn her into a working,
he says
a sex
he said
worker.
she'd have enjoyed it part at the mall.
Oh, okay, I got you. I got you. Maybe she was linking all those things together. That's good. Yeah, I do have a short-term attention span. So, yeah, yeah. So he's just such a fucking creep. And it's necessary. It's necessary to have a villain that's a villainous, because especially against Billie Jean, that you just love her so much because you see that she's in the world and these guys are harassing her, and she just like kind of doesn't fucking care. She's just cool as shit. She's just like, me and my brother are hanging out. You know what I mean? We went to go get a shake. Now we're gonna go swimming.
Richard Bradford plays Mr. Pyatt.
And he does an excellent job of being a real fucking creep. I hope that he's not a real fucking creep, or was it? Because
He's dead.
he's very sleazy in this movie. He does a bunch of things. So he won't pay the money back. Christian Slater comes in with a gun that he finds in the register. The guy tries to get his son to call the police and say that they're robbing the place, which is wild. Yep. And then he tells Christian Slater that the gun is not even loaded. He starts approaching him, and then Binks the character pulls the trigger and shoots him.
Yeah, he's not even pointing the gun at him. It's just it happens to be pointed at him, which like shows there was like no gun safety. Like talking to this kid, like he'd never held a gun or anything.
Yeah, there's no reason for him to have a gun. That's absolutely there's no business.
All right, pardon me if I'm talking out of line here for anyone that is a gun owner out there. If I remember correctly, when you are handling a gun, even if you know it's not loaded, you are supposed to treat it like it is loaded and not let it point at anyone. You never point a gun at something you're not willing to kill. From what I understand.
Well, let's rephrase that a little bit. Yeah, that was actually motivation for a murder at one point. But just for anybody who's hearing that, like, recognize that gun could go off at any time, even if you don't think it's loaded. That is a good rule of thumb for all guns. Yeah.
Well,
and yeah,
I was more talking from like a hunting standpoint. Is you never. That's what I've heard my brother say because my brother's a hunter. And
yes, 100%. The only reason I was adjusting the phrasing is that statement sounds like if you point a gun at something, even accidentally, you should still pull the trigger because since you pointed it at that thing, you tend to kill it.
No.
I know, which doesn't make any sense. But also, it can, like, the phrasing can be read that way.
Right. Sorry.
And has been actually. No, that's okay because like there's people who are literally minded. But sorry, this is such a dumb. All right, but we go on rabbit trails on this show, right?
We do.
There's a true crime case where a guy, from his understanding, he was on the spectrum. You couldn't tell in the interview. I watched the entire thing that this guy is having a hard time with understanding like what the difference between literal and figurative, right? In this entire conversation. But his understanding is that if you pull a gun and you point it at somebody, then you must pull the trigger. And so he got scared, and because he got startled by this guy, he was part of a drug deal, and he thought the guy was going to try to rob him. He wasn't, it turns out later. But he startled the guy, and he was in the car, and the guy pulled out his gun just to warn him. And then he listened to the advice that he'd always heard, is that if you point a gun at you don't point a gun at somebody unless you intend to kill him. And then so he's like, okay, I guess since I pulled the gun, I'm going to kill him. And which again is just it's really not great logic. But that's not the way it's supposed to be interpreted at all. Not at all. I know, right? Not at all.
I'm like, somebody's logic is not logic in here.
But the phrasing does lend itself to the statement, especially if your brain is listening to it literally. You know what I mean? So, like, as I was listening to it, I was like, no way. And then I was like, because I thought he was faking. But, like, he just kept holding to that defense that, like, since he'd pulled the gun, like, the rule is that if you pulled the gun, you have to kill the thing.
Right.
And I don't know. Maybe there was meth involved, and it was not
Let's jump back to the story.
Anyway, so Christian Slater is in the case where he does pull the trigger. He shoots the guy. You're not sure if he's dead or not, and then they run for it.
Yeah, they run. Ophelia is like, I'll drop you wherever you need to go, and this and that. Putter is like,
also pick up Putter.
I want to ride along. Yeah, she's like, can I come with you guys? In that weird little southern accent.
She's so funny.
Yeardley
like everything
Smith
she says is so goddamn funny. Yeah, it's no wonder that she was able to get work. It's not long after this movie actually that she is. Because
that's when
the Simpsons start in '89. I think it's the beginning of it. I'm not really good on Simpsons lore, but I think that it's like 88 or 89. Because by the 90s, early 90s, they were up and rolling. Yeah, I don't have to speculate, right? Because we have the internet. Also, while we're doing that, I should take a quick break just to call out that this is a behind-the-scenes podcast for Cox in Space. We're reviewing right now The Legend of Billie Jean from 1985, a 6.7 on the IMDb. This is Skip Marazi, your host and friend, who did not introduce myself at the beginning of the episode, along here with my friend Dylan Farr. Both of us on the spectrum and special interests in movies, so if you like that sort of thing, like and subscribe.
Yes.
We're also working on Cox and Space animation, which you see on screen.
88.
1988. I was right,
Sorry.
88, right? So this movie comes out in 85, and she's probably still trying to make it for the next couple of years. But by the time they see her audition for The Simpsons, they're like, "That's our girl right there." I hope it's from The Legend of Billie Jean. Like they saw that and they're like, "Yeah, where could we get that actress?"
That's probably what they did. They were like,
I would hope. Yeah, they're like, who would be the best Lisa Simpson? That girl from The Legend of Billie Jean? And now we have Lisa Simpson for 50 years now, or something like that. 80, I'm sorry, I'm bad at math. What is that? 40, yeah, well, almost 45 years.
Yeah, 88 to 25, so...
Okay, if it was 8, it would be 40 years, right? So we're coming up on 40 years of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Damn. Shout out to Matt Groening for doing a long-running animated show.
And for being supposedly in the Epstein files.
Oh, unshout out to Matt. God damn it, dude. I just hate finding out that all the people that you like are actually bad.
Well, there was story of one of the males that were one of the sex slaves on Epstein Island who was like, yeah, I gave Matt Groening a foot rub and his feet were atrocious.
Well, God. Listen,
Yeah.
nobody should be getting to have that much money in any place in the world. It should be distributed to people and the care of society so that they cannot abuse it. If anything else from that we've learned from the Epstein files is nobody should be able to get that wealthy because they will hurt people. The type of people who want that much money are the type of people who enjoy hurting people. All right, soapbox over. Back to the Legend of Billie Jean. As you can see, I'm just so pissed at that. That's one of the things about the 80s and 90s is you look at all these great films, and then you recognize, for instance, we didn't get into it, but one of the films, the last films that TriStar does at the, they're part of Sony at this time, but they do Apt Pupil, which is the Bryan Singer film, where a bunch of kids got whatever recruited and molested, and there's pornography from that film that circulates. So it just, yeah, I was like, all the. But look at these films like this one, you can see that actually The Legend of Billie Jean is anti-exploitation, and that's one of the reasons why it is so creepy and gross in the beginning of this movie, is because without Hubie's father exploiting her, she doesn't get to take a stand against him. And he does it in a bunch of ways. Okay, so they go on the run, and what keeps happening is the Billy the Kid thing. Her legend starts to grow.
The detective is like he knows he made a mistake not listening to Billie Jean.
Immediately, yeah.
Who only wants the cash to fix the scooter and an apology from Mr. Pyatt.
Literally, that's all she's asking for the entire movie. I mean, until the very end. And I think that's what's really cool. I mean, now we can get into the spoilery part, because she doesn't even take the harassment as like an issue. She doesn't have an issue with the harassment, which she should. But like that's not the issue. She's more mad that he's misused his power and her brothers got hurt than she had somebody groping at her. You know what I mean? And now she should be mad about she should be more mad about the other thing. But that's the thing. Yeah, she's just like, that's just how guys are, right? And so it's just another thing that she deals with. And that's why I love the turn of the movie, the end of the movie, where she's calling him out on camera on the news in front of a whole crowd of people, and she starts calling him out for being just like a gross pig of a man, right? And that's why I think this movie is so satisfying, because she doesn't even get mad about it until she's finally like she's had enough. Right, like that's what the thing that's like she'd put up with everything else, but then that on top of it too. You know what I mean? And that's why I love this movie. I really think it's like a very like women's empowerment film. I don't know.
I'm not a female. We have to talk about our introduction to like our edgy autistic movie guy.
Okay, well it's really interesting that they introduce him so late, right? Like there is a long time that they're on the run just doing hijinks, right? Because let me hit on one thing real quick and then we'll jump to that, okay? Because they kind of like boost each other, right? She makes a deal with the cops that she is going to as long as she gets the money back, the money for the scooter, and she gets an apology, that she will turn herself in, right? Like it'll be no problem.
And they end up at the mall, I think.
This is the mall.
Like walkie-talkies and a toy gun and stuff, and they're leaving IOUs.
Yeah, spite
IOUs.
Like that's the thing. Like they're just cute, not even taking it seriously, right? Like like they're kids playing at crime. And yeah, leaving the IOUs, and so they're not even like taking it seriously. And like the guy who's harassed her, who molested her, the shop owner who just needs to pay the money, which he has obviously, he won't give the money to them, and then he uses the mall thing as an ambush.
Yeah, and tries to get like his son and his friends to catch her. And she knees him in the nuts again.
He gets kneed in the nuts again. Also, she does this badass thing where she runs up a down escalator and is having no problem getting up it. And you'd be like, damn, Billie Jean. So, and then, yeah, then we could go on to the next. So they're on the run. They have to find out a place to run. They look at what seems to be an abandoned house, and they actually come across this kid who's being kind of spooky and weird. But he has a camera. He is autistic. We get introduced to the dude in a werewolf mask, um, which is
So
fun.
fucking autistic.
Yeah, you can see like he's
Being
just like
around your mansion just.
yeah, he's creeping around his mansion. He has a camera, which makes him useful to the plot. Um, and also as a love interest. And the thing I do love about this story too is that Billie Jean needs somebody who's kind of like that level of weird, um, because she also, I mean, she's like, I don't know. I want to say special girl, but it sounds like so like feel like she's like not capable, but like she's like, you know, she's unusual, um, in a lot of
Yeah,
ways.
I
Like,
would agree. She seems very much like she had to grow up too fast, and like she didn't grasp what growing up really means, and she's like trying to hang on to her childhood at the same time because
yeah,
she's
yeah,
and it's
yeah, yeah.
this movie's about basically the loss of innocence.
It is, and it comes to that because we're reaching like the sort of the culmination of the second act, where she realizes that the camera could be useful to her, and then she decides that she's going to use that because they've been using media against her, that she's going to use media against the media
Like
itself.
there were shop owners, if I remember correctly, being like, yeah, they came in and stole over $400, and they were using profanity and stuff and saying
They were
stuff, and it's
bombed out of their
like,
minds. Yeah.
yep, and and Lloyd's just like he probably stole himself for the insurance money.
Yeah, he probably tied himself up. Yeah, and then there's all of a sudden all these reports of Billie Jean doing all these crimes all over the place, and she's like, it's not fair that they're doing that. And this is where she goes to the transformation. This is what I think is probably the culmination, the climax of the script. Or the story, is where we get this really beautiful mirrored shot up from the pool after she's gone into the bathroom and seen herself in the mirror with the long hair. She pans up and we see her in kind of like the tomboyish look. She's been transformed. Um,
Yeah,
and
she cuts her hair off and
yeah,
all that.
well, it's the look from the cover of the movie or the movie poster. So you've definitely seen it. It's the red and black jacket, the real close cropped haircut. Um, and
Yeah, they're
yeah,
still highlighting her chest. Why?
yeah. And so it's supposed to be like feminine empowerment, but it is kind of more sexual exploitive. But she does use that to her advantage now. Um, but the
Yeah.
speech that she makes, and you pointed this out too, she had the opportunity to call him out for being a sleaze, but actually what she calls out is she just wants the money back. All she
Yeah,
wants is
she
fair is
just
fair.
wants what's
You trash
fair.
the bike, you fix it. And a lot of people catch on to that. They feel like they've been exploited too. They've, like they understand that her cause makes sense and is just. And so she starts to get a following when she releases this tape. There's one really weird way that she releases the tape to the cops, and that's giving a curly redheaded kid the tape to walk into a police station and
Yeah.
turn into a cop.
How did that
How that
little
strategy
kid know who to look for,
where to
though?
go, what he was supposed to do, why did they let the kid walk into a police station unescorted and nobody stopped him, up to a detective's office?
Like,
Why did
he
they let
knew
him stand there
exactly
watching the
what
film?
detective he was looking for. Like,
Yeah,
a little kid would not know that. Like,
yeah, it's super weird how they thought that plan was going to work.
It's
But thank
like,
God for
okay, this
cinema
is how the
magic.
story is supposed to work, but in reality, that kid would probably be like, "Oh, I'm looking for, but I
Yeah,
got
yeah,
this
exactly.
videotape."
Likely it would never have gotten to him if it was a kid like me, or like I would have been like, I don't fucking know, I have no idea what the goal is here. Want to set this down, and it never would have gotten to the cops. But this movie kind of is a fairy tale in a ways. It has some magic to it. One of the things we have to point out too is that in that sequence when she starts to realize that she needs to be transformed, is she's watching the Joan of Arc film, which is
Yep.
symbolic at the end of the movie too, where they're burning Joan of Arc, and there's a moment that like focuses on her. I'm gonna guess, and I didn't check, but I'm guessing this is probably almost the exact middle of the film, because this is kind of like a pivotal moment for her. This is why she cuts her hair, why she realizes she needs to kind of be a sacrifice to be the person who leads the people, even if it means her own death. It is only symbolic at the end, but I imagine in one draft of the script it isn't, and they probably changed it up a little bit so the movie would get made. Anyway,
Yeah. I'm
so
pretty
that goes
sure,
out.
like, at one point, they're running around and stuff. They come across a group of, like, kids who are like, hey, our friend's in trouble. You're Billie Jean, right? You
Yeah,
gotta help
yeah.
us.
Let's
And
actually, kind of skip ahead to that because that's one of the 2 points that I want to point out about this. You have your meeting in about half hour, is that right?
I gotta get ready for it in about half an
Okay,
hour. So
okay,
basically,
yeah. So let's talk about the thing that leads up to the
basically,
whole getting them to the beach.
what ends up happening is they find their I don't remember exactly what they're doing. They're getting her a wig. That's what they're doing. They're getting her a wig, and a bunch of
Oh,
kids come
that's
up and
right.
are like, "You're Billie Jean, right?" And um, she's like, "Yeah," and they're like, "You gotta help us." They won't let so and so come out, and we're worried about him. We think he's being beat, and she follows this
Well,
group of
yeah,
kids
that's the thing
to
is that they.
this
Oh
house.
my God. Okay, can I talk about the sequence real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, like this should be a trigger warning for this, but they don't. This is the thing about it is they don't tell her. They just say he needs some help. Come with us, and then it's this huge empowering moment where, like, as they're walking down the street, all the kids are joining them, and there's a big mob of kids that's behind him, and they're all like, "Oh my God, it's Billie Jean! I can't believe it's Billie Jean!" And she was walking up to this house, and everything's triumphant, and it just slams you with this pause where you hear this like kid getting the shit kicked out of him in a house by some like drunk dad,
Yep.
right? And then she stops, right? This is an amazing sequence, and this is the sort of thing that makes it really uncomfortable. But this is the reason that films fucking exist: is you should feel shit, but because like it's so empowering that just like knocks your knees out from you, because she doesn't know what
Oh
to do
yeah.
at that point.
Like
She's a
she just
goddamn kid.
walks into
She's supposed
this
to take on a
house.
drunk dad. Yeah, and then the only reason she does it is she looks around and Putter says to her, "I believe in you, Billie Jean," right? And she realizes that the only reason that she has power at all is because these people, like, they need someone to do this. So she is Joan of Arc. You know what I mean? Like, this is what's like really
Yep.
cool about the legend of Billie Jean. Like, she doesn't want to be a hero, but these kids need someone to step up for them, and that's going to be her because she's the one who's there. And I really
I
think, I mean,
love
ultimately, I think that's what heroes are: is people who step up in time of need. Alex Pretty,
I
for
love
example.
that she walks into the house like she's been invited. Basically, she just
Well,
walks
yeah,
in.
and
She's
well,
like,
that's her whole
she
presence,
goes
right? Like
in and
that is who Billie Jean is.
she doesn't, like, she goes in and then she realizes, I don't know what I'm doing, and she tries talking to
Mm,
him because the dad's like, who are you? And she's like,
right,
I'm Billie Jean, and he's like, no, you're
right.
not.
He's like, no, now you fucking ain't, yeah.
And then he
Um,
realizes, he looks out the window and there's a
yeah,
gang. It's like a gang of
yeah,
kids. And he's
yeah.
like, what, is that your gang? He's like, you are her. And like,
Yeah.
basically she takes his son and helps rescue him. And then as
And
after
that's the
that
thing. Can we
we
pause?
get a
Can we pause
scene
this real
with,
quick? Can we just
yes.
pause real quick on that? Yeah, because that is Billie Jean's power, and I think it's also important to talk about this movie. I'm glad that we're talking about this movie in this time in 2025, because it was an idea in 1985, but I think it's more crucial for us in 2025 to look at it. The power that we have to stand up to authority and to stand up to things that are wrong is our power in numbers. And that's what this story says, is that Billie Jean herself has no power. She's just a symbol for all the people who that she's representing. That's why she has power.
Yep.
And so
That's
like,
why that's why
that's
all the
when
people
we
are
work
calling
together.
into that
Yeah,
radio station and like
yeah,
sending money for a new bike and stuff.
right, right. Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like when people come together around a cause, when people come together around an idea, right? Like you cannot stop them because the people who are in power realize very quickly that they are overwhelmed and overpowered. So this is not to be political, but that is politics are, what life is about. So like, in the moment that we're at, you could put, say ICE in that situation too. The people who are standing up to ICE and as the power of the people, that is the correct thing to do because we are a group and we're protecting each other. That's what Billie Jean is doing.
Right.
And that's why I love this story. I'm glad that we watched this. Totally forgotten. Like I said, I was 20 or whatever. This didn't mean anything to me in 2024, or sorry, 2004. But like now I'm like, God damn. Like as I was watching, I was like, yeah, that's my girl. That's the type of heroes that we need right now. Is the type of hero that Billie Jean is. Soapbox rant over.
So
um,
basically,
so there's this,
there's
sorry,
a
were you gonna
scene
start with the beach,
where
right?
they like because they kidnapped they quote unquote
Oh yeah.
kidnapped
Well,
Lloyd. There's a
Lloyd just wants to
ransom
go with
out.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, but like they said they kidnapped him.
Well,
He's
yeah,
trying to make
yeah,
his dad care because his dad's a district attorney, and the dad
yeah. Played
basically
by Dean
puts out a
Stockwell.
really.
Yeah, Dean Stockwell of who's Al from Quantum Leap. Also, more relevant is Battlestar Galactica. He was also on the
Okay,
TV show. Quantum Leap is a sweetheart favorite of mine. So whenever I see him, but he's really young and he's not even like playing a hard character. He's just showing up as the rich guy's dad. Um, so fun. So you get scenes basically between Peter Coyote, who's a classic '90s actor, and Dean Stockwell, who's a classic '90s actor. Yeah, if you're like into
but
that
basically
nostalgia,
they put a ransom out on Billie
yes.
Jean,
Sorry for derailing.
and there's this couple who I gotta point this out. It's Caroline Williams, played Stretch in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Oh, okay.
That's who that is.
Uh,
Like this is a year before Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 came out. So it's really funny to see her in this. And the boyfriend is like, I'm just going to shoot out the tires, because he's like, he
oh my
wants
God.
that
Okay.
ransom money.
Oh my God, yeah, let's
And
let's talk about that sequence. They're chasing him down with a boyfriend hanging out the window with a shotgun, shooting at Billie Jean and her friend's car, Ophelia's car with Billie Jean and Christian and Putter in it. Yeah, oh
I
my
don't
God, what a
think it was
fucking
a
crazy
shotgun.
sequence.
I think it was a
Oh,
rifle.
fair,
I
fair,
think it
okay,
was a
sorry, long
rifle.
barrel, yeah, long barrel,
Because
gun.
because a shotgun would like do a dispersing shot
Scatter, yeah, wouldn't be
where
useful at that range too.
where where the bullets just took out the windows and stuff. But that's why Billie Jean ends up calling the detective and turning in Ophelia and Putter,
Right, yeah,
is
because she
because
realizes
she
shit
was
gets
worried
serious.
about their safety.
So who's the boyfriend then? You said that he was somebody as well?
I
Oh,
don't
oh, you don't know.
know.
I thought you were saying that he was also a famous actor. No, so okay, gotcha. Yeah, what a crazy sequence. She does turn him in. Putter gets her period. There's a moment where you think Putter's been shot, but actually she's bleeding from another place altogether. Ha ha. So
Yeah, and that leads eventually to the infamous line, "When can I get a diaphragm?"
when gonna get a diaphragm?
Yeardley
That's funny.
Smith is fucking hilarious in this, like just 100% like the MVP of the movie. Like when
I
it
would have
comes
to
to
give that to you.
comedy,
Yeah, like
like when it
every
comes to
time she
comedy, just
sells
like
it,
she's just
fucking sells
boom,
it. Yeah.
boom, boom.
Yeah.
We have to also talk about her mother was abusing her in the movie
Oh
too.
yeah. Oh God. Yeah. And that's why she's like, "Nah, I'm out of here." And her mom's like, "You're grounded." And she's like, "I'm out of here." And then also, when her mom sees her, she like defiantly cuts off her hair, to into
because their mom smacks her in front of the cops. It's like that's child
in
abuse.
front of the cops, and
But
yeah.
back then it was
The
just
80s,
considered
though,
disciplining. It was
the
just considered
80s,
discipline.
goddamn, right? Yeah, right. Different time, different place, but yeah, it's goddamn trigger if any of you have experienced that. So necessary though, because it does make characters do things. And I'm not being like woke, making a like woke statement or whatever. I think that's all bullshit. But like, yeah, there was a time. If you're watching older films, you should be watching them for the things that existed
Sorry, I
at that
just
time that
lost
don't
my
exist now.
connection here. My
Okay, are you
feed
back?
fell out of my computer. I apologize.
That's all good.
Yep,
I'm
I
gonna
am back.
transition.
I apologize. My
You all good? I'm going to transition to the beach real quick because something that's happening in the background of all this stuff that's happening with Billie Jean is that you hear this radio station talking, and it starts out kind of like low-level background nonsense, right? It's just like the radio station, blah blah blah, such and such, da da da. You're like, okay, whatever. It's just kind of like filler, but it gradually becomes louder and louder until it becomes the main event that they go meet up at.
yeah,
So it's really, I think it's masterfully done to, as far as storytelling goes, to put things in that way, because it's just like this really gradual rise to it. This thing that was like a note that was in the background suddenly becomes a main event, and that's just very good storytelling.
Huh.
So yeah,
Interesting. The original title of the film was "Fair is Fair."
well, not a great title, but it does hold up for the way that the movie is. So. I wouldn't watch a movie called Fair is Fair, but The Legend of Billie Jean fucking rocks. I mean, that's a great title. Um, as a subtitle of the movie, Fair is Fair would make sense. But
Yeah,
fortunately, they had marketing on their side.
but this was a really well done movie, in my opinion.
Let's talk
But
about the catharsis real quick, and then we'll go to the wrap up. So Christian Slater gets shot on the beach because he's posing as his sister,
Yep.
so that she can sneak in and make sure that the bike is legit and rebuilt. Because that's the deal that they made, is that they got the brand new bike paid for already. Um,
Yep.
but when Christian Slater gets shot and taken away, she runs after him and then is stopped because she realizes that the guy who started the whole thing, the dad, the one who was who was molesting
He's
her,
been selling.
he's been selling
He's been selling
merchandise,
merchandise
making a
with her image on
shit
it
ton of
and
money,
stuff.
and the photo that creep kid took of her getting out of the water when they originally were like messing with his bike. And so
Yeah.
like just to, like the symbolism of like she's being exploited like from all these different angles, that she finally snaps and she like goes after him. And she just tears him down for just being like just a pathetic piece of shit that he is. And in front of a crowd, there's cameras you see that are rolling that are in the news because Billie Jean is there. Um, and it's like that's this the catharsis because she finally addresses it with him to his face. It's not through a camera. It's not over. Like it's face to face. And then he trips, falls backwards. The fire consumes all the merchandise, and
Yep.
his huge effigy of her on top goes up in flames also, and becomes the Joan of Arc shot. And she's looking up at it. It's kind of like the
Well,
end
not
of.
only that, the people that were following her were wearing Billie Jean merch, and they
Right.
all start taking off their merch and throwing it in the fire.
Right, they
Like,
realized that what they were doing was also exploitative, and so that's the thing about this movie, and that's why I think it's really important to watch now too, especially after the Me Too movement, especially after the Epstein files coming out. Like this movie is about like recognizing that people are awesome regardless of gender, and to like treat them just because of their bodies is like really fucking sleazy.
oh yeah,
Now, you and me, we're horn dogs, and we get lusty with our people. Like the people
yeah.
that we love. Like I will love to have as much playtime with my body with them as possible. Let me put
Like
it
I
that way.
still have
But
I still have the biggest crush on Amy Lee of Evanescence. I still to this day.
But but let me just say this before we lose that in the point. is that that's cool. Two consenting adults together. That's real cool. But not to do that to everybody in every place. That's not fucking cool. That is not the time and
Right.
place. That is not your place to step in and try to do those things. And that's where it gets creepy. Like that's with the Epstein thing. We're treating everybody like they're your sex object, or the whole the Me Too with the Weinsteins. Like not everybody is, or even if you look at WWE, right? Like this is not the
Oh
way
my
to treat
gosh.
people, Vince, because it like you hurt a lot of people by doing that, by just treating them as objects, because there's more to people than that. And that's why I think the Legend of Billie Jean is just like a strong feminist, but also very like human personal movement, like empowerment. It's like we're falling for the exploitation. We buy into that all the time, and we don't have to. Like we can just recognize that like an attractive female has hopes, dreams, ambitions. She wants to get to fucking Vermont, and she wants to do that without being harassed. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah,
think
her
like
brother's obsessed with Vermont.
right, and this the thing about her is that I don't know if she wants to get to Vermont, but she wants to get to Vermont for her brother, so that they have like a good
Like
future.
everything is about their relationship because I think the mom just doesn't care.
Right, yeah, exactly. And so, 100%. Yeah, she doesn't. And so that's what makes their relationship beautiful. Is that like, and I think also like just that uh there's a love that's pure, taking care of your family. And that's the kind of thing that motivates her. That's what motivates her through this entire movie, is not that she was wronged, but that her brother was wronged and she needs to right that wrong. Like they need to get their freedom back because they need that bike. Um, yeah, so I think The Legend of Billie Jean is you should check out. I think it deserves more than a 6.7, honestly, on IMDb. I think that it's underappreciated for what it is, and that
It's
might
only a 6.7.
yeah, which is not
Wow.
a bad score, but it says that people are kind of like, eh, and I think that might be because of the first act. Like the first act would probably make a lot of people uncomfortable, especially nowadays,
Well,
because
it's
you just
like
don't show movies like that.
let me see. Jay Boyer of the Orlando Sentinel stated the film has quite a lot going for it and doesn't get many points for finesse, but it has energy, good performance, and more wit than you'd expect.
Absolutely, I would give that. It's a very funny movie. It's very action packed. It has camp, but not to the point of cheese. Like they're still sincere, even though they're being campy, which is a thing I do appreciate. Um, if those of you at home who've been wondering why I've been looking at Richard for such a long time while we've been talking, is I'm trying to figure out how to get his fucking beak to be a down beak because of the angle. I can't quite get those, and I might have to create one so that I can have it. But I need his beaks to close, and it's very much open, and I can't manipulate any of the things
I
to
need
do
the
it.
beak to close.
I
The
need his
beak needs to
yeah. So
close.
if you guys are like he's zoning out, he's not paying attention. The thing is, I'm paying a lot of attention to it while we're talking. I just don't know what to do with it. But I do have all the other pieces. This is what the thing looked like originally. Um, I've taken out most of the other pieces so that they can move and talk and stuff to do this theme song. I might just have him pop in for like a number when he's like, so he's always yelling, and maybe I'll just have him blink a couple of times instead, and then I'll cut away, and then that way I can get around it. Um, I don't know if anyone knows, I'm not an animator. I've just been doing this because I love Cox in Space so much, and I want to see it happen. Have you seen the animation, Dylan? That because I did. We have a new updated one since the last time, I believe. Um,
Okay, the last one I saw was the giant pulsing vagina.
yes, and I believe that you didn't get to hear the sound. Um, so let me do this, and I'll do this. How is this? Um, the giant pulsing vagina. That's a gravity well, sir. A gravity well. Um, it is a joke. Here, let me see if you can hear that music. In case any of you.
Captain's log, stardate
Do you hear that?
06969.
You probably don't hear that, huh?
Not really.
Oh, it is turned all the way down. How about now?
Captain's log, stardate 06969. We've just left the Cape.
I can hear it. It's just really low.
Is it now? Okay. Let's do this. How about now?
K9 cluster en route for Pussy Paradise. Captain's log, stardate 06969. We've just left the K9 cluster en route for Pussy Paradise.
I've scanned the entire region, Peter. I'm telling you, I can't find Pussy Paradise. The brochure says it should be right here.
Pussy Paradise.
Check again, Nick. We must take this vacation so we don't break our code. Only a rested pecker can spread happiness across the universe.
Warning. Suction detected at the head of the pecker.
Detected at the head of the pecker.
Warning. Suction detected at the head of the pecker. Warning. Suction detected at the head of the pecker. Warning. Suction detected at the head of the pecker.
What is that monstrosity?
Well, Peter, we're hovering over the major and minor folds of a gravity well, and Pussy Paradise is hidden within it.
The mystery must be penetrated. Full thrust!
The mystery must be penetrated. Full thrust.
Full thrust!
Oh my gosh, that is great.
Yeah, so that's the, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. That's the, that's where we cut to the shot that we were just looking at, which is they sing the theme song at that point. So it's gone to space, not in your face. And I think I'll have him burst in being like, spreading happiness through the universe with his mouth open like that. Then I'll have to cut to something else. Yeah. So that is the animation as it is so far. This is what we've been doing on Sick Flicks with Dylan and Skip. So we have a couple more minutes. I know that we got to wrap it up. But any final thoughts about The Legend of Billie Jean, or about what we're going to
I really enjoyed it. Oh, we forgot to wrap it up and say they did make it to Vermont.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was the big plan. They were trying to make it to Vermont. They do, in fact, make it to Vermont. And it is nice. They threaded it through the film kind of like tastefully that that's what they want to do. So when they do finally arrive there, it wasn't like a major goal, but you just go, oh, okay, cool. We have a nice resolution, because it was a thing that they mentioned several times through the film of what they wanted. And I think that's something that is missing often in a lot of films, is just like clearly stated goals. So it makes it easy for the audience to get that catharsis. There is one complex stated goal where we really hope that she stands up to this dude, and she never explicitly says that. But the flip is, that's clearly stated goal is they want to get to Vermont, and they do, which is fantastic, right?
And it kind of ends on one of those like cheesy 80s sitcom like freeze shots.
And it does. Christian Slater's coming out smiling, I think. Something
Checking
like that.
out a snowmobile.
Yeah.
Because it reminds him of his scooter.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, that is fun. And it does. I mean, and you have to give it to you say cheesy 80s, because that is the time. That's when they're doing it. Is during the 80s. So it lives up to that nostalgia, because it's exactly in that era.
But overall, I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
It's super fun.
It was. And Yeardley Smith is fucking hilarious.
She's so funny.
Butter.
We can't even give her enough shout outs.
She is the funniest character in the movie.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of funny characters, like just the one guy giving the interview is like, yeah, this really hot chick like need this guy in the nuts. Right. like doing a news interview, like they don't air those interviews on the news. Like if you talk a certain way, they won't air your interview.
Yeah, I did. I also had to laugh at just the man on the street interviews. They cracked me up so much. Um,
Gosh, they were.
they're
This
just
movie was just well done,
it's
and
because it
it was
understands what it
one of.
is.
And I think honestly, it's because in the '80s, a lot of people were molesting people, and they just didn't want to acknowledge it, and that's why the movie didn't do so well.
Eep. I mean, I'm not disagreeing. Also, that is quite a statement that everybody knew. Yeah, actually, that's the one of the things, and I might be incorrect about this, but Helen Slater doesn't have a big IMDb, if I remember right. Like Christian Slater, we know he's done a lot of work, but his sister, who is very beautiful, very talented, seemingly very intelligent, it could have had a really great career. I don't think I've seen a lot of Helen Slater films, and I feel like that is kind of because of this, right? Like I think that she, in some ways, knows that this is the type of world that she'll be going into, and she's like, I would really rather not. Um, I take that back. She has done some stuff in the '90s. It looks like early 2000s. Um, that is wild. She actually has a pretty decent film and TV career, lesser known. Huh. Um, yeah. So and that's the thing for me. Oh, she was Supergirl in 1984, the year before The Legend of Billie Jean, which is another TriStar film. I feel like I've lost you somehow. Is that true? All right. Well, that's fantastic. I'm not exactly sure where we fell off. Hey to Logan for coming and listening to us. I hope that you have enjoyed. I'm going to hang out for a little bit longer after this. Thank you to Dylan Patrick Farr, who you can find on Facebook, who is a stand-up comedian in the Michigan area, who is very, very funny. You can find him on all of his socials at Wow, Autistic Spitfire Comedy. You should check that out. This movie that we were talking about today was The Legend of Billie Jean from 1985. It's got a 6.7 on IMDb at this current time. I thought was an absolutely fantastic film. When getting to see it again, I was like, this is awesome. I really think that it's empowering moving for men and women, because I'm of the belief that surprisingly that women are people and have all sorts of cool characteristics and they should pursue them with all of their gusto. I believe that men do also, but I think that women get less credit for all the cool things that they do. So they should be celebrated. This movie, I think, shows off such a great Helen Slater. She was so fantastic. To the point that I was making, I think that she probably does not enjoy being exploited, just like her character does not in this film, and so she probably did not get to work in Hollywood so much because it was the Weinstein era. And so good on her. I hope that she was very safe in all that time that she was there, that she had people looking out for her in that time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm Skip Marazi, your host and friend. This is a behind the scenes podcast for Cox at Space. As you see, we've been working on it. You can tune into the show live on our Discord, 9:30s on Friday morning Central Time. To 11, and so you can just find our Discord at coxinspace.com. That's coxinspace.com. Check out that website too, coxinspace.com, so that you can see this new trailer that's coming out, or the new first minute, as we've been showing some behind the scenes clips on this, but you get to see it all come together. I'll work on it outside the show too, so you get to see those. You can also get connected with not just our Discord, but our Patreon. If you like what you're seeing, you want to see more of it, and you want us to spend more time doing it, is what it basically comes down to. You can support us there. You can also check us out on Facebook, and you can also check out my personal website, wigwags.us, which is the company that's backing all of these things, managing the talent to make that happen. You can check out the books we have in there, the games that we have available, and so come check it out. Again, thank you so much for listening with us. Next week, we are going to be covering The Death of Smoochie, which is Edward Norton and Robin Williams. It's a fucking great film, probably widely under-celebrated. I really hope that you'll come check it out with us. Logan, if you want to watch that movie and review it with us also, you're more than welcome to. I know that you might have some time on your hands in this next week, so that would be hella fun. Dylan, again, thank you for being here, and we will see you all very soon. Happy the Friday the 13th. Bye.